Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. This is the Nikon 58mm 1.4G, and when Nikon announced this lens, it really left many wondering why. They already have a 50mm 1.4 and an 85 1.4. Is a lens in the middle really necessary? Well, there's really no answer to that question, but this lens exists, so let's go ahead and take a look at what this lens has to offer. First off, I want to mention the price. This lens retails for $1,700 US, and it goes without saying that that is a lot of money. But is it justified? Well, the body of the lens is made of plastic, and it has a decent weight to it. It isn't heavy, but still feels very well built, and on the D800 it actually feels really well balanced. On the side there's a switch for focus modes, and the focus ring has full manual override. The lens hood is also made out of plastic and does its job very well, but this seems to be a repeating trend. Everything is made out of plastic, and although everything feels very well put together, it's interesting that a lens of this price point isn't using higher quality materials. Now the build is one thing, but in the end what really matters is the image quality. There are 9 elements and 6 groups with 2 spherical elements, and also has nanocrystal coating. Basically everything you expect from a high-end Nikon lens is here. In terms of sharpness, when shooting wide open at f1.4, the lens is actually not quite as sharp as I was hoping. Of course, shooting at f1.4 is tough because of the extreme depth of field, but when you lock in focus, it still isn't extremely sharp, especially when comparing to f2 or f2.8. However, once stopped up a bit, this lens is extremely sharp and captures details very well. This lens also has 9 rounded aperture blades, which really lends hand in creating beautiful bokeh or blurry backgrounds. When stopped down, the backgrounds look nice and smooth, and because of that 1.4 aperture, really separates the subjects from the surrounding area, and it really looks nice to look at. Now, in the time that I had to use this lens, I found that it's a really great performing lens and it really does its job well, but the question I kept asking myself is whether it's worth that price tag. After having used both the 50mm 1.4 and the 58mm 1.4, I would say that for the huge difference in price between the two, over $1,000, unless you have a specific purpose for the 58 in mind, then I would go for the 50mm instead. In my test, the performance was almost identical, and the real only major difference I found was the focal length. Overall, I'd say that if you know why you want the 58, then get the 58. It's a great lens. But if you are debating between the two, then I'd just save your money and get the 50mm. So overall, I really enjoyed using this lens, and it wouldn't have been possible without borrowlenses.com. I want to thank them for sending this out for review. Also, stay tuned for a full comparison between this, the 58mm, and the 50mm 1.4G. Until then, like I said, my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!